Simsim and the Mystery of the Wilting Flowers. A message from the bees. The Bavarian forest was experiencing a late spring. Wildflowers were supposed to bloom in abundance, filling the forest with color and fragrance, but something strange was happening. The flowers began to wilt and decline, especially the purple lobelias that adorned the riverbanks. The bees and butterflies grew worried, as these flowers were a primary source of their food. The queen bee, Shahad, was deeply saddened. She gathered her advisors, the worker bees, but they couldn't find a solution. The bees were bringing in less nectar, and the hives began to feel the shortage. Mrs. Owl Hikmah approached the beehive and said, "Queen Shahad, it seems there's a big problem. The lobelia flowers are wilting fast, and no one knows why." Simsim overheard the conversation. He remembered his hidden talent and decided to use it. He cautiously approached the beehive and began to listen to the bees buzzing. It wasn't ordinary buzzing. It was a buzzing filled with worry and confusion, accompanied by some repeating tones that sounded like signals. Simsim focused intently, using his keen senses. He noticed that some bees would land on the wilting flowers and emit a specific buzz, then return to the hive with a different buzz, filled with frustration. He began to connect these sounds to the bees' movements. On one occasion, Simsim followed a worker bee returning from the lobelia area. The bee was buzzing in a way that resembled a warning or stay away. When it reached the hive, it performed a complex dance on the honeycomb, not a dance indicating abundant nectar, but one that seemed like a roadmap to a specific place, yet with a hidden danger signal. Simsim decided to follow the bee on its next trip. The bee flew towards the lobelia area, but didn't land directly on the flowers. Instead, it hovered over a specific spot near the river, repeating the warning buzz. Simsim approached that spot. He looked at the ground with his sharp eyes. The flowers seemed intact from above, but something was wrong. When he focused more, he noticed something barely visible to the naked eye. There were very fine, almost transparent threads extending between the flower stalks and wrapping around them. These threads were constricting the flower stalks, preventing them from absorbing water and nutrients properly, causing them to wilt slowly. "Oh my!" Simsim thought. "These are very tiny, but very numerous, spider webs." They weren't ordinary spider webs, but webs from a special type of very small spiders that preferred to spin their webs around delicate stalks. Simsim rushed back to the beehive and told Queen Shahad what he had discovered. "Queen Shahad, the bees can't collect nectar because the flower stalks are being choked by very thin webs." At first, Shahad didn't fully understand. But Simsim insisted, describing what he had heard from the bees buzzing and how their movements had guided him to that exact spot. With Simsim's help, Shahad sent some larger bees to thoroughly investigate the area. And when they found the transparent web Simsim had described, they were surprised. Guided by Simsim, the bees worked together on a special mission. They used their sharp forelegs to remove those delicate threads from the flower stalks. It was an arduous task requiring precision, but the bees were determined to save their flowers. And after a few days of hard work, the lobelia flowers began to recover. Life returned to them, and their purple colors once again adorned the riverbanks. The bees returned to collecting nectar in abundance, and the happy buzzing filled the hive. The forest celebrated the return of the flowers, and Queen Shahad warmly thanked Simsim. She said, "Simsim, your unique talent saved us. You heard what we couldn't, saw what we didn't, and solved a mystery that would have destroyed our food source. You truly are the greatest translator in our forest." From that day on, Simsim became not only a hero, but the forest translator, who could decipher the codes of the smallest creatures and thus save the forest from a major crisis.